Hi everyone, it is time for our second picture from this page in Johanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder, and this is a sort of bag with all sorts of bits and pieces, and this is the colour cube card that I picked for it. I'll just go through with you what colours I decided to use. Now this looks slightly lilac-y, but on the back it's called Ghost White. We don't really have a lilac in the Polychromos, so I just picked two of the greys. This is Cold Grey 1 and 2, so very pale. Then we have the Ultraviolet. Again, we don't really have a colour called Ultraviolet in there, but I picked three of these darker blues, which I thought would work. We've got the indanthrene blue, the helioblue reddish, and the dark indigo. I may not use all of them. The dark indigo is a little bit dark, but we'll see how it goes. And then we have blood orange, again a colour we do not have, but I've grabbed three. I've grabbed this one, which is a red. It's number 118, which is actually scarlet red. And then this one, which is, I think it's light cadmium red, and this one, which is dark cadmium orange. So I think those will work. For our marigold, I picked some sort of ochres. I've picked actually the green gold, the dark Naples ochre, and the Naples yellow. Sorry, I don't know if those are blurred. And then lastly we have the clay, again not a colour that we really have, so I've picked three browns like this. So I've got the bistre, the raw umber, and the brown ochre. Now I may not use all of these colours as I go through the picture. We'll just see what sort of works as I go. But I will tell you what I'm using as I go, obviously, and in the description of the video it will have a list of the pencils I've used. So if I haven't used all of them, those I haven't used won't be included. Okay, let's get going. Now I'm thinking our bag to start with. It's quite the big part of the picture, and I'm just trying to think what colour I might make it, because I'm thinking we've got all these gemstones and things which are probably going to be sparkly and bright. So I'm wondering whether to do a sort of a paler colour. So I'm going to grab the brown ochre actually and do it as if it's a light leather. And just I'm just going to gently colour a light layer of this colour over it to start with. I'm not going to do any sort of shading or anything. Now with the colour cube cards like I'm using here, there are no rules as to how you use them. There are some instructions that come with them, so you can use those to help you a little bit, but you can do it however you wish. Some people will just do these colours, like 5 colours, and sometimes I do that too. If I'm in the mood that I really just want a very limited colour palette, then just picking the 5 is very useful. Some people do add in a black and a white with their card so that they get a little bit more scope for colour. If you were doing, say, a person and you had no sort of skin tones in your card, then you might want to add in some skin tones. Or some people even take 2 or 3 cards and use them together, so some that might be slightly similar to each other, and so they'll use a similar batch of cards. So there are lots of ways that you can do it, and it's just, I find, sorry, the page is quite bouncy. I really should have got a book to put under this page because it's quite near the front of the book, so I'm not really leaning on very much, but anyway, I'll try my best. If it gets too annoying, I'll stop the video and get another book. It's always good to get another book by the same author to do that with, because it's exactly the right size to fit under, although there are quite a few authors that do books this sort of size. These dots here are very small. I'm wondering how I'm going to colour around them, so I'm going to procrastinate and go over here. But I'm thinking maybe I will, maybe I have to colour over them and then do them in a really dark colour so you don't notice. I might do it that way. Not sure. What I'm quite pleased about is this colour palette, is that we've got stars, and we've got things that I might want to do in gold, and we've actually got enough colours to make a light gold, so that's quite good. And it was a bit of a coincidence, I didn't actually look too hard when I picked my colours. You know, which card went with which. In fact, this one was just sort of the one left over that had to go with this one, so it's quite a coincidence that it sort of works. Now with these decorative bits that are on the bag and obviously in all the jars, you might want to make them shiny like they're beads or sequins, and you could, rather than using pencil, you could use some metallic pens, gel pens, or even glitter pens, that sort of thing. I think that would look would make it look really bright and cheerful, and you know, it might be how it would look. The only problem with that for me is that I haven't done that on the last picture, and I'm unlikely to do it on any of the others. So I think just having one page, so I'm just going to colour over those, that's shiny and glittery, one part of the page, and the others not being so, I think it's going to be a little bit odd. I think it's going to be odd enough that my bottom left picture, which will be tomorrow's page, is all blues and blacks and greys, so it's a little bit more colour restricted than all the other pages, pictures. There's a less of a sort of spectrum of rainbow colours, and I feel that maybe that is going to make it stand out from the others as being quite different. But I'm going to stick with my guns and do the colour cube cards that I had picked out. But if you feel that you want something a little more varied in colour, then you might want to give that one a miss and maybe try the next card or a previous card. I don't know. I don't know what the next card is, so it might be even less appropriate. I just don't know. Okay, so we have a sort of general bag. I'm not worrying about the handle yet. I felt that maybe the handle and the tassels might be the same colour. That was my sort of thought. I've missed a bit in there. There we go. Now I'm thinking about some shading on the bag. Where might it be lighter and darker? I'm thinking the base and the sides, it'd sort of be darker around the edge. I'm going to start here where it's easier. I could grab a darker colour. No, I'm going to keep with this colour actually. I think that's going to work better. So I'm staying with the brown ochre. I'm going to start here on this bit and just make it a little bit darker on the edges, hoping that that might make it look a little bit rounded, like that. I hope you can see, by the way, the sun is pouring in, but it's not actually coming in over the book. So I've turned out the light, and I've opened the blind up, and I'm hoping the natural light gives the right sort of feel. But we'll have to see. So I'm just bringing that in a little like that, and the same at the bottom. I'm going to do a sort of heavier layer here and then just sort of fade it up a bit. I will probably find that once I've done the beads and sequins and whatever they are, that I will see some areas where I've missed with my pencil. You might see them already on camera. Because I can't put my head close enough to the page to see, then I can't see it that clearly. I have decided that I'm definitely going to buy some glasses to fit over my glasses that will magnify, that's the word, and that will magnify the page, in the hope that it will help me to see a little bit better when I'm doing my videos. Now for me that looks like that's a bit too obvious, so I'm just going to gently try to extend it a tiny bit to make it look like a more natural blend towards the centre of the bag. Hopefully that will work. Okay, and now there are a couple of areas where I want to show a definite shadow, so I'm going to grab the bistre for that, being a lot darker. And I'm thinking, see where we've got these creases? I'm thinking there might be like a bit more shadow under those. I think that's what Johanna's sort of intending. So I'm just going to, I'm putting a bit more on the edge and less as it goes in towards the bag. I think that's probably how it would look. Not sure on this one, probably more at the top and then a bit narrower towards the bottom there. There we go. Now I might also want some shadow under some of the items. Now for me the handle looks like, the way it's been drawn, that it's this bit's on this side of the bag and that bit's on the far side of the bag because of the line. That would be very impractical because you wouldn't be able to, it would get in the way. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that, I don't think. I'm just going to put some shadow around some of these items. I'm assuming that's some sort of clasp under the tassel a little. Like that, and then under the larger of the sort of sequin beads, whatever they are. The small ones are just too teeny. These, I'm not going to worry about these down here, or these circular ones around here. Just the ones that are big enough to cope with, really. I just took a little break for lunch, and my son was saying that apparently it's going to be the hottest day so far of the year tomorrow. He's got 2 exams tomorrow, poor love. But he said he thinks he might be in coolish areas to do them. So hopefully, although one of them is in a lab and he's not been in the labs before. Right, I'm going to do some yellow for the tassels. We have got a green, gold and a couple of yellows. I think I'll start with a brown actually. These are going to be quite pale. We haven't got a lot of space for making gold, but I think it will work. So I'm going to use the raw umber here, and as my darkest colour, it's not going to be that dark. And I'm going to use basically only 3 colours. I'm going to do each star in this, so I'm going to do just the points of each one of these. It is a bit small. If you'd rather, you could just use one colour, just use your green gold. But I'm just gonna being a bit ambitious, and it might not even be worth the effort. But I just fancy having a go. Like that. And then this clasp, I'm thinking maybe that's a metal. Gonna have a bit of shadow under there. It's a bit darker here and here maybe. Maybe a bit on the edge. Now also this piece, I'm going to just put a dark bit underneath where I think it would be shadowed. There we go. The tassel. Now I don't want too much of this because it's so similar to the bag colour, it might just get lost. I'm just going to put a little bit and we'll colour over that. And we've got the tassels down. Oops, oh no, hang on a minute. I just drew on the page here. It's not going to erase perfectly, but I'll just do my best. There we go. So I'm going to do these tassels here. I'm going to try and do a bit at the top and bottom of there. Either side of here, and then maybe top and bottom of that bit. I think that sort of makes sense. Okay, so that is our raw umber. Then I'm going to use the green gold next. Again, I'm going to give it a sharpen because it's quite fine work. Okay, green gold. And we start at the top, and I will just extend this a little. There's going to be one more colour after this, just in case you're wondering how much space to leave. So I'm not going to do an awful lot. I mean, obviously there's such a teeny tiny space here anyway. As I say, it just might not be worth it. Okay, then we've got our tassel. Oh, that's magpies are making a noise again. Just a little bit. Oh, and this glass. I'm hoping that once we put a yellow on top it will show up a little bit more. These we don't need to worry so much with because they're against the white paper, so they're showing up pretty well on their own. And those bits look rather nice, I have to say. Okay, I think I'm going to go for the lightest yellow I've got, which is the Naples yellow. Again, it's a sharpen. So here we go, Naples yellow. So here I want to try and leave a little tiny bit of white in the centre of each star. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to achieve that. I can't see if I'm doing it right or not, so I'm just doing the best I can. And there we go. While I'm doing this, I just want to ask you a favour. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you could. Everyone who has already, thank you so much. It does make a difference to YouTube. They will show the video to more people, I hope, if I've got more subscribers. And it's rather nice for me as well, just to see your support. It's free to subscribe. It's different to joining, becoming a member of the channel. Yes, you do have to pay, and you get membership benefits for that. What I offer my members is preview videos. So basically this particular series here, members would have already had all 4 in a compilation video. Basically it's quite simple, I just glue them together. I'm not really that skilled at doing much else, so I glue the videos together. So you get all 4 and you can just watch them in a group. You get them early and you get them together, so it's a little easier both from a sort of filing perspective, if you know what I mean, because you don't have to go hunting for them all, they're all together in one, but also you get them early, so you get a little perk. This is the dark indigo, but the videos are then available to everybody eventually. I'm going to do all the lids of the jars in this colour. I've decided I want to do them all the same. So how I'm going to do the lids is I'm going to fade towards the middle, darker on the edge, so more layers, and then less as we go towards the middle. See, I didn't want people to miss out on any videos if they couldn't afford to be a member, or if they didn't want to be, you know. I know it's a difficult time, so paying money out like that is it's the same as my Ko-fi shop, where of course you can make donations for the items that are there, but they're available for anybody to take for free if they wish to. I enjoy making videos, and the items for the Ko-fi shop are often I make them because they're useful for me, and then I just share them, although sometimes people ask me for things. So I don't do anything I don't enjoy, so it's fine, but obviously having a little bit of a payment is very kind, and you know, allows me to do things like I've pre-ordered Johanna's new book, Small Victories. I did that the other day, from Waterstones actually. They're a UK bookseller. Occasionally they release a book a little bit early, and we have had a few problems with Amazon letting us down over the last few years, not sending out books even when they've been pre-ordered. And I'm an affiliate for both Amazon and Waterstones, but so I decided to go for Waterstones, and sort of, it's always a risk. Who do I go with? I want the book on the day of release. Who do I go with? So I've gone with Waterstones. Last time I went with Waterstones, they were reorganising their warehouse and I didn't get my book. I was really upset, but I'm assuming they're not going to be reorganising their warehouse again. Hope so anyway, so I hope I'll get it. Now we have 3 saucers, I'm thinking, or plates, containers here, and I'm thinking I'm going to tie it in with this indigo, just because I want to use some bright blues. I probably won't make any of these things blue, but I'm thinking let's continue with this one for this, and then I can put it away and I won't get muddled. I won't, you know, I won't use it again. So here I'm trying to make this bit a little bit darker because I want it to be a bit darker than the front, but I still want it to sort of fade towards the middle and sort of to give it more of a rounded shape like that. I'm not leaving any white for shine like I did on the jars, maybe a little bit paler, but I hope it works. I hope it doesn't look like it's an upside down jar lid, but actually maybe if it does, it doesn't matter, because look, that jar hasn't got a lid. So maybe you would tip things into the lid. I probably wouldn't, to be honest. I would keep the lids firmly on because I can imagine me knocking these things all over the place. So that would be a lot of tidying up. Imagine separating all these items. Okay, so that's our dark indigo. Now I think we need to go for some brights, get some pretty colours. Now we have got our blues, our blood orange, and I've still got a yellow. So I need to have a think. I'm going to start actually with this red. This was the Scarlet Red, number 118. Now what I've noticed, you can't see the name on here, is that we have these long pieces on here and we have them in a jar here. So I think we'll make those the same colour. Sorry, I knocked that. I knew there was a chance. Let's put it back just for reference. So I'm going to do all of these long pieces. Now I'm going to keep this quite solid because I want them to stand out from our bag. Now although this is red, to me it looks quite orangey, so it works quite well for the blood orange. It isn't as a dark an orange as you might find in other sets. I think it's the Arteza that has a blood orange, the Arteza Experts that I've got, and it's a very intense orange. But I think this will do. Now we have to sort of do the best we can really with the set of pencils that we've got. Now I'm thinking, how many items have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What about 12? I think I'm going to do another 2 items with this colour. So what shall I pick? I'm going to pick one of the things in a tray, maybe these square ones here. Now my plan is to add shine to all of these little items at the end. These square ones occur in here with a white pen, rather than trying to leave a bit of white on these teeny tiny things. I just don't think it's a practical idea. So it's much easier to dot it over with a pen after. And because I know that no Polychromos bleed into white pen, then it's a safe bet. And we'll need some white on our jars anyway. So there's our very deep orange. I'm going to grab a blue now. This is the indanthrene blue. Let's give it a sharpen. There we go. Indanthrene blue, it's sharpening off. I'm going to do these teardrop shapes here in this colour. Bright, isn't it? I'm wondering whether to do the centre one. No, let's leave the centre one. I need something dark on those though. Yeah, I'm just planning it in my head. I think I'll do these, the other blue, and all these dots, and the centre dots and everything, and then do these ones at the bottom in a lighter orange. That's what my brain is telling me. But we need some more blues on the outside. These teardrop shape, they look most like those to me, so I'm going to make those this colour. I don't think they are exactly it, but it doesn't matter. And as you can see, I'm just putting a lot of colour down because when I put the white on, they'll really show up the shine. A bit of an alliteration there. I'm not going to put a blue one in a dish because the dish is blue. So I think I might go for this little one over the back here. Just carefully colour those like that, and then maybe, I was going to do that but it's really close, maybe this one up here. Let's do this one. And I could use some of the colours from the gold that I used, or some of the, I don't know, the browns or something, but I don't know why I'm sort of doing it this way, keeping some of them the same. Sometimes it adds a nice sort of matching theme across. Okay, next I am going to do the lightest orange. This is the dark cadmium orange, and what did I say I was going to do? These larger beads, circular ones. You can see, thankfully, it's different to that. So we'll do, I'm thinking, these circular beads in here, because they look like they could be the same ones. And then we'll look for some other things to do. Had some nice mango with our lunch. Delish. I'm thinking these are circular, these are circular. I'm going to do these. I don't know why. And I'm thinking these spilt ones, it's going to take a bit of time. Because they're circular. There's a lot of circular, but anyway, there's tiny little dots. I think we'll do those this colour maybe, but that one's bigger. I'm a bit stuck. I'll have a think. Yeah, I'm a bit naughty because I don't buy mango, uncut mango. I buy the cut pieces, because chunks, because then I can see how ripe it is. I find it really difficult to judge how ripe a mango is. And I have bought them before and cut them, and they've had big bruises through them. It's like, ugh. So I rather just buy one cut and I can just see exactly what I'm getting. And it's more expensive. It's easier though, cutting mango off a stone. It's quite hard. But anyway, it's very nice. There we go. I think I'm going to do that one, yeah, and maybe these, like that. Now we want our little tiny dots, so I'm using the helioblue reddish. I don't know if it's going to look significantly different to the other blue that we use. There it is, and I need it really sharp to do these dots. And these are teeny weeny. So, sorry, I am concentrating. There we go. I'm not going to do that one. Oh, I was going to do these, wasn't I, in the middle. Can't do that one. Okay, now what should we do? We're going to do ones in the plate, so it looks like we're doing, there's a lot of blue going on there. I'm just going to do this one. You can definitely see it's a different shade of blue to that, which I'm pleased about. Just remembered I've got a cup of tea next door. To drink it before it gets too cold, although it's a really hot day, so I don't want too hot a drink. I made green tea, so if it goes cold it will be fine. I don't mind cold green tea. I'm sorry for all of you who are going, yuck. Used to having cold drinks when you twin babies. You barely get to drink a drink warm. And although they're now much older, I just get distracted by other things instead of them. Now, I have got a yellow left and I'm going to do a little bit of yellow. So this is the dark Naples ochre and I'm going to do this here and then this whole bowl here and these. I know these are really small, they probably should have been done in the blue, but got a lot of blue going on. There we go. Now my last colour that isn't a grey is this light cadmium red, and I'm going to use this for our cotton. Now we've got a bit of stitching here, so I'm thinking I'm going to do this, go over the stitching with this. I don't know how well it will show up. Ooh. So it looks like it's that colour of cotton, and then we'll do our cotton reels with a little bit of darker colour here and lighter towards the centre. Now we've got a lot of orange going on here, it's maybe a bit close colour wise, but yeah, we could have done this cotton reel a different colour. But anyway, right, we've got 2 greys left, which is exactly what I need. Cold grey 2 and 1. I'm going to use the cold grey 1, I'm just sharpening them up. Going to use the cold grey 1 for the cotton reels because I think they'd be white. There might just be a bit of shadow on their edges, just so it looks like I've made a bit of an effort to colour them in. Okay, and then we're going to use our slightly darker grey, the cold grey 2, to do our glass. Just realised how squiff we've got, sorry. So I'm just going to brush that, it's a bit... there we go. So I think I'm going to do my glass in a similar way to how I did the glass on the last one. So taking a bit of grey in like that, leaving a bit of a white edge. I think it would just make more sense if it looks the same as the last. This is overlapping another one. I've never done one this way. I think a bit there and a bit there. Maybe a bit there. Interesting. Yeah, I had an email from my dad earlier telling me he's going, I know he's going on holiday, and my mum giving me the details of where he's going to, which is handy. I asked him if he could. My sister's like, oh, he's got a phone, you don't need to. No, well, you never know, people can lose their phones, you know, just might be some news to pass on. So I like to have some details just in case. Okay, that's me done with that part. Now I'm going to grab my pen. Now I think this might be a bit thick. I think I'll be okay. So what I'm going to do with this is try and make every bead, sequin, whatever, shiny, and add some shine to the bottles and jars at the same time. And the pen doesn't want to write. It's a really good start. There we go. So just a tiny shine on each of these. And then a bit of shine on our bottle as well. Same here, look, so some shine from the bottle, but a bit of shine on those items. It's a bit easier on the bigger ones. Just put the shine all on one side. And then fill in a bit of shine. Try and make your shine lines for the glass parallel with the bottle. So on this one we'll do it across that way and there, and then we'll put some shine on each of these. Okay, we'll go up here to our bag and put a little bit on these to make them look like they're shiny. those teeny ones, I'm not going to be able to do with this pen. I don't think that's too thick, it will just erase them. If I think they need something, I'll get a smaller pen and do it after. So let's do these items in the bowl. There's a flash then outside. I think the bird flew past the window and obscured all my light. Yeah, talking of birds, we saw the baby duckling this morning, which was rather nice. I haven't seen him for a few days. A bit worried about where he'd gone, but he was out on the water eating flies. It's so cute. So it's on the water and the flies are quite low, but he sits there and then he suddenly scoots forward really fast, and that's when he's seen a fly that he wants to eat. He sort of scoops at it and grabs it. But he's doing that load, so I don't know whether it's because the flies are quite small and they're probably not very filling. Can't really see what I'm dotting here, I'm just doing it randomly. So yes, I can't imagine they're very filling, but also whether he misses a lot of times and he has to keep doing it because he hasn't actually got one. I don't know. I'm not going to do any on the cotton, so I've got this one to do. These little white touches at the end make quite a big difference, I think. And I'm using a Sakura White Pen. I would highly recommend the matte sheet. I do want to do dots on those blue. I'm going to use the smaller size and hope it works. The 05 is the smaller nib. Oh, there it is. So it should be able to do a dot without erasing. Problem is the dot is so small that you can't always see it, and the end clogs much more quickly with paint. There we go, it's working now. Yeah, the end clogs because it's so small. So I don't think it's to do with the brand. The 10s and 8, the 10 and the 8 don't clog at all, very much at all. Do a little bit, all pens do. But not, I wouldn't say more than average, probably less in fact. Yeah, I think I am done. So there is our bag. Let's put it straight again, keep knocking it out. And you can see the colour cube card beside it. So we didn't use a lot of brown. I didn't really want to. It's just a bag really, and then we've got all our brighter colours. So there we go. So I hope that was okay. I hope you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.